Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher, and today we're going to be taking a look at the cut page in Davinci Resolve. I'm actually in 16.2, but I believe it was since Davinci Resolve 16 the cut page has been introduced. So if you don't know what the cut page is, it is basically I don't want to say a simplified version of the editor's page, but is a quicker version of the editor's page. I think that's the correct way to kind of talk about this. So if you're not familiar, obviously there is the classic edit page down here, which is your classic editor, just as you would, normally imagine it. The difference is that the cut page is, well, in all honesty, this is basically Davinci Resolve's solution to those people who are users of things like Final Cut Pro X or iMovie or stuff like that. In my opinion, this cut page, though, has two secret, people it's aiming towards. So the first one is that, yes, things appear to be more simplistic. Things are a lot more in your face in the sense of it's easier to kind of see what you're doing and do the sort of basic edits. So if you're someone who's a YouTuber or a vlogger in particular, I could see this being incredibly nice to work with. But if you're one of those people, I mean, this is like out of this world incredible for you. If you are a more professional editor who is, obviously knows what they're doing in more of an intense way, I still think the cut page is really awesome, and that's what I'm going to be talking about more of today. I am not a vlogger. I am a YouTuber, obviously, but I don't do a lot of those types of edits. So for me in particular, I think it's really interesting to talk about this sort of professional aspect of it, but again, you'll still get those basic stuff. So one of the first things I love about the cut page is the fact that everything is front and center. So you have your main media and effects pool here. So obviously right now all of my footage is in here. If it wasn't, you just click import right there, import media, and you can see all of your folders right here if you want to. You can add a new bin, or you can of course just scroll through and then actually go through and click on your bins. So I really like how simple that is. There's the film strip, which for someone who's used like Final Cut Pro X, you might be more used to that. And there's your actual just clip container name and all that kind of stuff. So that is over here. And if you click on things like sync bin, this is a sync kind of thing, which we're not going to talk about that much. Transitions, again, transitions, titles, and effects. So basically anything you need is right here to start with. Obviously we have our preview and source monitor right here. We'll talk about a couple cool things about this. I love how this is always optimized. We have our audio levels right here. And then we have our dual timeline, and this might confuse some people, but basically this is your entire timeline from start to finish, and then this is the playable timeline. So if we were to scrub back here to the beginning, and I'm going to mute the audio right there, and just play through. Right now nothing's color graded. You can see that our playhead is stuck right here in the middle, and we are playing through the timeline. And the great thing about these two timelines is they're dynamic. So you can actually pull things from here and drag it down here, and the opposite. You can move things around. You can do a lot of cool stuff. So, and we'll get into more of that later. So I want to talk about the workflow inside of this cut page. So right now I'm going to hop through and jump to the back of my edit. So that girl's face is funny. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually doing a raw footage edit of all of the clips from a wedding. Now, typically what you would do is you would go through, and in the editor's page, you'd click on these clips and you set in and out points, and you drag and drop, and it takes a lot of time. And the thing is, it's not very quick. Now, you might be like, well, I don't shoot weddings, so how does this apply to me? Well, let's say you are a vlogger and you have a ton of different clips and you just want to select the good stuff first and you want to get it in the timeline. And to me, that's what the cut page is all about. So one of the really cool features is that this allows you to be very quick, keep your hands on the keyboard, and sort of just be quick. One thing that I did do, just so you guys know, is I did remap the append edit to Shift-I. So what that means is when I click Shift-I, any selection I have right there, so if I have an in and out point, is going to immediately append it to the end. That's just for speed for me. You could do anything you want, but I just recommend doing that. All you gotta do is just go to Workspace, Keyboard Customization, and then just change it. So let's select this clip. We are here right now, and you can of course use the JKL, you can use the play bar, you can use your mouse, whatever you're more comfortable with. So we're gonna play through, and we're gonna click I for right there, and then probably, whoops, stop it just a little bit before, like right there. Ow, right? And then in my case, I'm going to click Shift-I, and then boom, that clip is now in my timeline. So that's cool, but then the problem is I have to go back and I have to click the actual other clips. I have to grab my mouse, go over here, click the other clip. That sounds like it's nothing to do, but when you're editing hundreds and hundreds of clips, or you're doing vlogs and you need to be quick and you need to be on YouTube and you need to be fast, it is annoying. So the first cool thing we're going to talk about here is this kind of film strip. I think that's or source tape. My bad. So source tape is basically showing you every one of your clips. This is kind of emulating, I believe, like how editors used to edit. So now we can see all of our clips are these little white like lines here. So now when I go through, like, okay, I want to scrub forward a little bit. And then she's laughing. Fun, fun, fun. Oop. Go back a little bit. Stop. Oh. Right, so now we have our in and out points. Shift-I. Boom, it has been appended now in the timeline. Now here's the best part. So when my hands haven't left the keyboard, all I have to do is click the up and down arrows to move through the clips. And you can see over in the left-hand side that I'm actually moving between those clips. So now I go to the next clip, click play. Okay, actually that was the same clip. Now I'm going to click play here. No, I don't want to do that. She was looking over at something. Boom, now I want to set the in point there. And then we're going to hold it. We're going to hold it. I like to about there. Out point. Shift-I. Boom, it is there. Now I can go back. I can play that same clip if I want. So I can scrub through. I want to do another part. So I'm in this same clip now, remember. Okay, I like that. So we're going to go back. Let's go ahead a little bit. I like the head turn. Oh, we don't want it to move. Out. Shift-I. Now you can see that I just never removed my hands from that actual keyboard at all. So if you're going through tons and tons of clips, you can easily just be cruising through these because everything's in the same like timeline. Well, it's not in the timeline. And excuse me, again, you can easily move down through all of these clips. Again, I never have to leave the keyboard, which is just so simple. It's easy. Yeah. Now, of course, there's a ton of different ways to control everything. You could, of course, hit the normal playheads, things like that. There's also one thing I do love too is we'll just go back to the regular, which if you double click, it just pulls it in. I love that you can see the audio waveforms. That is just awesome that you can see that immediately. Now over here we have all of our different edits. So for instance, if you wanted to come over here, smart insert, append, ripple overwrite, close up, place on top, source overwrite, excuse me. Now these aren't edits I'm going to go like super into. Obviously, hopefully some of these edits and you know how to accomplish some of these edits. But again, just in general, it is nice that all of those are right there. And of course, you can assign those to keyboard shortcuts. And again, we can just scrub through our timeline here and we can see everything's moving. So I can click play. Now, there's something else really cool is let's say we have this clip right here and this clip right here. Let's say I want to move the order of these because I want this guy looking down first and then we see this. I can just pull and then I can drag over and you can see that white line appears and it's going to go right above. Now, if I wanted to, you can see that when I push it down in the timeline, so that was when I had above. When I push it down in the timeline, it actually adjusts the timeline and the whole timeline moved. So now my clip was just inserted and everything shifted over just as it should be. So that's pretty cool. I like that you can do that. And of course you can edit, like I said, between the two timelines, which is really fun. So let's talk about this new trim feature. There's a really cool new trim like tool. Let's say we're talking about this edit right here. So let's say I want to change this edit and you saw it just happen there. I can click on, whoops. I can do it either way. I kind of like to do it here because it's a little easier to see. So let's say I want to trim this edit. So let's say I want this edit to sync up. I can just scroll over where I see this little trim, this kind of like little trim icon. That's the trim icon. And you can see it does it either way. And the cool thing is it shows me the trim edit of this. So this is the clip before, this is the clip after, this is the clip before, this is the clip after, and I can trim how I want this. So I'm going to drag that because I want that to end there. And then I can pull this to the right because I want that to end maybe right there. Now it just adjusted that entire edit, but the cool thing is that my entire timeline dynamically changed with it. Nothing moved, nothing crazy changed. So now when I play this back, you can see that my edit was made right there, and it was easily trimmed back. So that's one of my favorite features in this. And again, I see the cut page as a great way to quickly get a lot of footage ingested and edited down. And then here's the awesome part. So let's say you go through and you got your whole timeline here and everything's going good and you're ready to go and you want to dive into a really intense edit. Well, the great part is you just click on the editing tab and all of your edits are right there. So all of your in and out points are right there and everything is just there. So the great part is that everything you're doing in this cut page is still happening in the edit page. It's just in a different user interface, basically. So yeah, that is the cut page from Davinci Resolve. Like I said, there's a lot more that you could dive deep into, but I think as a whole, and I wanted to really come at it from a perspective of someone who is an editor and who is, has experience with editing and sort of how it can be used in that sense. And again, I really think this source tape sort of overview of everything is really great for getting a rough edit of stuff, getting a lot of clips ingested quickly, and then of course being able to easily and quickly move between your timelines. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.